Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Today we start a new chapter, Srimad Bhagavatam, 6th canto, chapter 12, Vritrasura's glorious death. So first I'm going to read the summary of the chapter. This chapter describes how Indra, the king of heaven, killed Vritrasura despite great reluctance. After Vritrasura finished speaking, he released his trident against King Indra with great anger. But Indra, using his thunderbolt, which was many times more powerful than the trident, broke the trident to pieces and cut off one of Vritrasura's arms. Nevertheless, Vritrasura used his remaining arm to strike Indra with an iron mace, making the thunderbolt fall from Indra's hand. Indra, being very ashamed of this, did not pick up the thunderbolt from the ground. But Vritrasura encouraged King Indra to pick it up and fight. Vritrasura then spoke to King Indra as follows, instructing him very well. The Supreme Personality of Godhead, he said, is the cause of victory and defeat. Not knowing that the Supreme Lord is the cause of all causes, fools and rascals try to take credit for victory or defeat themselves. But everything is actually under the control of the Lord. No one but him has any independence. The Purusha, the enjoyer, and Prakriti, the enjoyed, are under the control of the Lord. For it is by his supervision that everything works systematically. Not seeing the hand of Supreme in every action, a fool considers himself the ruler and controller of everything. When one understands, however, that the real controller is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, he is freed from the relativities of the world, such as distress, happiness, fear, and impurity. Thus Indra and Vritrasura not only fought, but also engaged in philosophical discourses. Then they began to fight again. This time Indra was more powerful, and he severed Vritrasura's remaining arm. Vritrasura then assumed a gigantic form and swallowed King Indra. But Indra, being protected by the talisman known as Narayana Kavacha, was able to protect himself even with within Vritrasura's body. Thus he emerged from Vritrasura's abdomen and severed the demon's head from his body with his powerful thunderbolt. Severing the demon's head took one complete year to finish. So reading the text, the first text of chapter 12. Shri Rishiruvacha Evam Jihasur Nripadeha Majo Mrityum Varam Vijayan Manyamanaha Shulam Pragrahya Bhyapatat Surendram Yatha Mahapurusham Kaitabopshu. Shri Rishiruvacha Evam Jihasur Nripadeha Majo Mrityum Varam Vijayan Manyamanaha Shulam Pragraya Bhyapatat Surendram Yatha Mahapurusham Kaitabopshu. Shri Rishiruvacha Evam Jihasur Nripadeha Majo Mrityum Varam Vijayan Manyamanaha शूलं प्रगृह्य व्यापतात् सुरेन्द्रम् यथा महापुरुषं कैटभोप्सु श्रीऋषिरुवाच एवं जिहासुरनृपदेहमाजो मृत्युं वरं विजयं मान्यमानः शूलं प्राप्याभ्यपातात् सुरेन्द्रम् यथा महापुरुषं कैटभोप्सु. Vaishnavis? Shri Rishiruvacha Evam jihasunrapadehamajo Chumbaram vijayan manyamanaha Chulam praprayapayapatat surendram Word by word translation, if you like to repeat. Shri Rishiro Vacha, Shri Sukadeva Goswami said, Evam, thus, Jihasuhu, very eager to give up. Nripa, O King Parikshit. Deham, the body. Ajo, in battle. Mrityum, death. Varam, better. Vijayat, than victory. Manyamanaha, thinking. Shulam, trident. Pragruhya, taking up. Abhyapatat, attacked. Sura Indram, the king of heavens, Indra. Yatha, just as. Mahapurusham, the supreme personality of Godhead. Kaitabaha, the demon Kaitaba. Apsu, when the whole universe was inundated. Translation. Shukadeva Goswami said, desiring to give up his body, Vritrasura considered death in the battle preferable to victory. O King Parikshit, he vigorously took up his trident and with great force attacked Lord Indra, the king of heaven, just as Kaitaba had forcefully attacked the supreme personality of Godhead when the universe was inundated. Purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Although Vritrasura repeatedly encouraged Indra to kill him with a thunderbolt, King Indra was morose at having to kill such a great devotee and was hesitant to throw it. Vritrasura, disappointed that King Indra was reluctant despite his encouragement, took the initiative very forcefully by throwing his trident at Indra. Vritrasura was not at all interested in victory. He was interested in being killed so that he could immediately return home back to Godhead. As confirmed in Bhagavad Gita 4.9, Tyaktva deham punarjanma naiti. After giving up his body, a devotee immediately returns to Lord Krishna and never returns to accept another body. This was Vritrasura's interest. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Jena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Mukha Karoti Vachalam Pangoram Gayate Girim Yat Kripa Tamaham Vande Shri Guru Dinatarinam Paramananda Madhavam Shri Chaitanya Ishwaram Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare कृष्ण पृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते जयपताक स्वामी नामने नमाचार्य पादाय निताय कृपा प्रदायने गौर कथा दामोदाय नगर ग्रामतारणे. Hare Krishna. This section of Srimad Bhagavatam proves this point that Srimad Bhagavatam helps us distinguish reality from illusion. Because Srimad Bhagavatam goes beyond appearances. Here, in this particular verse, we can see that the king of heaven, Lord Indra, he sounds to be a good guy, a good person in this whole story. He's a demigod. He's the king of heaven. And on the other side, we see Vritrasura. He's actually a demon. But Srimad Bhagavatam is glorifying Vritrasura and his motivations. And in fact, even though Vritrasura relatively is losing the battle and Indra is becoming victorious, Srimad Bhagavatam propounds that that is not the fact. The real victory actually goes to Vritrasura and not to Indra. Why? What is success then? Isn't winning the battle success? Is it or not? So today we will discuss a few points regarding what is success and how we can learn certain lessons from the story of Vritrasura. Like I said before, relatively speaking, Indra is winning the battle, but actually what is happening? Indra just killed a Brahmana. I mean, what a great sin. And then, now, he's killing another great devotee. Besides that, Indra is extremely attached to his position. And being attached basically means being miserable. So what is going to happen to Indra is, he's going to live as Indra for how many ever thousands of years, and then he's going to die, and then again be born in the same Manvantara somewhere else, trying to again restart his life. Whereas Vritrasura, who relatively lost the battle here, is immediately going back to Godhead. So who is actually victorious here? This point is very relevant to us in our life, because we can see everywhere, everybody's talking about victory, everybody's talking about success. So from this story we can see that if we do not understand what is absolute victory, and if we cannot distinguish this relative victory, then we get bewildered into this materialistic propaganda of success. If we actually take a taxi to Kolkata, on the way you will see these big billboards, and you will see this people advertising, get success, register with us. And then you see a middle-class man faking a smile, looking pathetic. And probably people who watch this and get inspired, feeling that here is success, they have some degree of truth according to their own understanding. Why? Because success depends on one's identity. Here Vritrasura is very clear about his identity. He's very clear that he does not want victory. All he wants is devotional service. So like Srila Prabhupada says, for a devotee, when he dies, I mean, if he has done his devotional service in the proper mood, proper way, there is actually no defeat, because he's going to continue serving Krishna. And this also helps us to take a deeper look at what is our identity then. What do we believe as success? Recently there was this Wimbledon match. This is a tennis match. And for a tennis player, being the identity of a tennis player, the greatest achievement one can do is win the Wimbledon match. Another nature of relative victory. Whereas absolute victory actually relieves us from that cycle of desires and more desires and more desires. Let us take a look at what Bhagavad Gita says. But in Bhagavad Gita, Krishna talks about how this relativity is like, he explains how for a transcendentalist, what is day, for a materialist, that is night. And what is a night for a materialist, that is day for a transcendentalist. So what does this mean? This is also related to success directly. Because when a materialistic person thinks of something as, wow, this is cool, if I get this, then I'm going to feel successful, I'm going to be happy. For example, for a materialist, you may think having many telephones is success. The most upgraded version of iPhone 6, is that the latest one or is there an updated one? And many of them, and having the latest model of technology, that's actually success. But whereas for a transcendentalist, he sees that as a disaster, because he's actually going more and more further away from getting closer to the real goal. And actually, there is no luxury in having many phones. We can see people who have a lot of phones become slaves to the phones. They have to answer the call every time the phone rings. They have to answer the message from WhatsApp immediately. And there is this constant anxiety. So a transcendentalist sees that this is danger. Let me know that this is not even temporarily, doesn't even give me happiness. What to speak of absolute sense? And for a materialist, he may think like having many girlfriends, it's success. Oh, I attract many girlfriends, this is success. But a transcendentalist knows that this is the pathway to hell. This basically is going to ruin my spiritual life, everything. And that's the difference between a transcendentalist and a materialist mentality. We may think, you know, I'm not a materialist, I'm a devotee. I only have devotional desires. Even as devotees, sometimes we have this tendency to get disappointed when things don't go the way we want. I mean, when does it ever go our way, right? It's always, our plans always get changed due to different reasons. And we think, oh, this is not good, I don't like this, I like this other thing. So we also have this ichadvesha, we also have this allergy towards difficulties, and we have attraction towards things that gives us pleasure. In Chaitanya Charitamrita, there is a beautiful verse, and that describes it all for us. Dvaite bhadra abhadra gyan sabha mano dharma ei bhalo ei manda sarv mano brahm. So this means in this material world, the conceptions of good and bad, these are all mental speculations. And to think that this is good, this is bad, this is all a great mistake. And in the purport, Prabhupada goes on to explain that when one is absorbed in materialistic desires, they are also taking shelter of Krishna, but Krishna's illusory energy. And therefore, one cannot ascertain what is good for my spiritual progress and what is giving me that temporary happiness. And we fall into this trap of this conception that, oh, this is good because I'm feeling good. This is bad because I don't feel to do it. I don't feel to get up and go to Mangalarati, or I don't feel to take a cold shower, or I don't feel to do the Ekadashi fasting. So then we fall into this trap of conceptions of, I like this, I don't like this. This is good, this is bad. So these are all materialistic. That is the conclusion of this purport. There is another point that in my personal experience I have seen that even devotees fall into this trap of the big thing of astrology. So they basically think that, oh, I'm going through a good astrological period. This is good for me, you know. And oh, I'm going through Saturn period. This is difficult period for me. In fact, even the astrologers misguide people, devotee astrologers sometimes as well, by saying, you're going to go through very rough, difficult period, Prabhu. Unlucky, very unlucky. And some other times the astrologer may say, oh, very good, Prabhu, you're going to go through Venus period for the next 20 years of your life. So we may ask, why is it bad? Why isn't it bad? I'm going to use my Venus for Krishna, I'm going to use all the money for Krishna, because everything in this material world, which is duality, is going to trap us. Somebody who is going to go through 20 years of Venus period naturally starts to get into this tendency of enjoyment. And it is extremely difficult to actually surrender to Krishna or have even the mood of humility. But whereas when we are going through the difficult period, it becomes easier, because when in difficulty, we actually seek shelter. Oh, Krishna, please help me. But when everything is going good, that's actually danger. So we should be extremely careful to not fall into this trap. Oh, good period, bad period, good chart, bad chart. Vritrasura is not lamenting, oh, unfortunately I got this demon's body. If at all I was having a demigod's body. He's not doing that. So our mood should not be, if we want to become successful in this path of spiritual life, our mood should not be, oh, if I can get this, oh, if I can get that, if I can get a better situation, or if I can get a better facility. Because that basically is again duality. What is better? What is not what is not good? What is bad? This is all our mental concoction. Yehi sarva mano brahm. Brahm means illusion. It's just a speculation. What indicates whether whatever situation we are in can help us. It doesn't matter whether we have something we want or not, whether we are utilizing that. In other words, notpadayed yadiratim shrama evahi kevalam. Whatever we are doing, if it is giving us attraction towards Krishna, if it is invoking our attraction towards Krishna, then we can think that we are on the path of success. If it is not, shrama evahi kevalam, then it's a useless waste of time. It's completely useless. It's just useless endeavor, hard labor. This is how we can discriminate. If it is favorable for our spiritual life, then we are becoming more and more attracted to Krishna. And we may ask, why should I please Krishna in order to find success? Why? Because it's our nature. When we please Krishna, we become happy. That's the success of life. According to Srimad Bhagavatam, the success formula is Samsiddhir Haritoshanam. If we can satisfy Krishna, if we can satisfy Lord Hari, then naturally we also become satisfied. Because again, coming back to the point of identity, what is our identity? Krishnera Nityadas, Jivera Swarupai, Krishnera Nityadas. So our real identity is we are servants of Krishna. And therefore, servants of Krishna also means Yasya Prasadat Bhagavat Prasado. By pleasing the spiritual master is how we can actually please Krishna. Otherwise, again we may concoct, right? Oh, maybe Krishna wants me to enjoy in this way. But that's why we have Guru. So when we actually take instructions directly from the Guru, Prabhupada actually says in one of the purports that to become successful, talking about success, real victory, to become successful, we have to follow the instructions of the spiritual master. If we're not doing that, means there's something wrong. So we discussed a little bit what we should not focus on, like, not lament, oh, if I had that, if I had this. So what should we focus on then? I'd like to share a little poem that one of the acharyas from Vaishnava Sampradaya, his name was Vadi Rajatirtha, the very, very, very powerful Vaishnava in the line of Madhva line. He was before Lord Chaitanya. And Vadi Rajatirtha summarizes the success formula from Srimad Bhagavatam. He summarizes this in this purport, and he describes what a devotee should do in order to become successful. Would you like to hear this poem? Okay. So I'm going to sing those few lines and then I'm going to explain the meaning of the song. Most of the words are Sanskrit, so you will understand the words. Guru Bhakuti beku, Hiriyara karune beku, Harikate nitya kelutali irabeku, Virukuti beku, Vishnu aradhane beku, Varamantra japa beku, Tapabeku paragatige, Sirihaya vadanana paramanugraha beku, Vishaya nigraha beku, Vishaya nigraha beku. Guru Bhakuti beku. The first essential principle, we need to have devotion towards our spiritual master. That complete surrender. Hiriyara karune beku. We need to get the blessings of the Vaishnavas, of the elders, in order to move on in spiritual path. Harikate nitya kelutali irabeku. We have to constantly, every day, hear Harikatha, the glories of Hari, the pastimes of Krishna. Virukuti beku. We have to practice renunciation. We have to become detached from materialistic pleasures. Vishnu aradhane beku. We should worship the deity forms of Sri Krishna. And we should every day take darshan of the Lord. Varamantra japa beku. This is most essential. We need the benediction. We need the benediction of the Vaishnavas, and we need to engage in meditation and chanting of the hymns. Tapa beku paragatige. Tapa, tapas. Without tapas, there is no way we can get out of this material world. Paragati means to get out of this material world. There's no way. Tapa beku. We need it. Sirihaya vadanana paramanu graha beku. And then we need the causeless mercy of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, of Sri Krishna. And most of all, in order to make all this happen, Vishaya nigraha beku. Nigraha means controlling of the senses. When we can control our senses, then we can engage in these following indications. And among these, austerity stands out. Because in order to actually discipline our life, we need austerity. And here we can see that Vritrasura, he's doing his austerity. There are two types of austerities that I'd like to discuss a little bit. So one thing is that death is not comfortable. It's emotionally, psychologically, and physically, it's painful. But he is ready. Vritrasura is willing to accept death. So this can be relevant in our life. It may not be physical death. I mean, nobody is coming with a thunderbolt and striking us and taking off our arms. But we are also facing different kinds of dilemmas in life, different kinds of difficulties. And at that point, we can also imbibe the mood that Vritrasura has here of that austerity, of accepting that difficulty. We may not do it in this great scale, big, large scale like Vritrasura, but in our own small scale austerity, we need to every day take up to that. In other words, austerity doesn't mean, okay, I'll also give up my body, you know. That's not austerity. In fact, in Srimad Bhagavatam 10th canto, this is the verse of Srimad Bhagavatam. It is said, as long as he has intelligence and bodily strength, an intelligent person must try to avoid death. This is the duty of every embodied person. But if death cannot be avoided in spite of one's endeavors, a person facing death commits no offense. So it doesn't mean, okay, you know, not take care of your health, not do anything that's necessary, and I say, yeah, I will also die, I will also go back to Godhead. No, that is not the mood. In fact, we can see in the verse it is said that Vritrasura was vigorously, he took up the trident vigorously. Shulam pragya abhyapatat. He took up the trident and very forcefully, with his full might, he attacked. So this is also a very relevant point to us. Why is it relevant? There is a saying, they say, if you want peace, then get ready for war. In other words, he's actually fighting against what is comfortable to actually gain higher victory. And there is an internal war with us. And to fight this internal war, we need to actually be courageous. We need to also do our best. Not just say, yeah, I have to do devotional service, so I will do it. I have to do it, so I'll do it. I have to chant Hare Krishna, so I'll chant Hare Krishna. So that attitude is not very exemplary. Vritrasura is showing the other attitude, doing with our full might, even if we are going to face so-called defeat. Do it with the best ability. Somebody is not going to appreciate what you're doing. Doesn't matter. Do it with full might. That is the mood actually Vritrasura is trying to show to us. And we can see in different examples. Jatayu in Ramayana, there was this great vulture. He was a very elderly vulture. He saw Ravan taking away Sita, kidnapping her, and Sita Devi was calling out, Ram, Ram. And Jatayu flew to fight against his mighty Ravana, which is impossible anyway to win over that great demon. But still, Jatayu did his best. With all his might, he fought. Did he win or not? Relatively no, but absolute sense, yes. So there are so many examples in this way of great devotees facing so-called defeat. And there's another story from Ramayana again, the squirrel, which was trying to also help to build the bridge, right? It was trying to take these little tiny stones and trying to go and put it in the ocean, and these huge big monkeys were laughing at it. What are you trying to do? You think you're going to get success by doing this? And Lord Ram said, this is as good as your service. It's the same. Maybe not in quantity, but in quality it's the same. So that's actually real success. And Srimad Bhagavatam says that if somebody is engaged in devotional service and somehow or another they do not make it, in other words, they apparently fail in the relative sense, it does not matter, because once one is situated in devotional service, they are never unsuccessful. They will always go back to Krishna in service. And Prabhupada goes on to explain so many examples he gives. The famous story of the Muni Putra and different the Varas, how you become Chiranjiva. And there's this famous story, right? Most of you know the story. So for a devotee, it doesn't matter. Death or life, we are always going to be serving Krishna. And as a child, I used to learn this particular song written by a Vaishnava saint, Purandara Dasa. He was a contemporary of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He's considered to be the incarnation of Narada Muni. And as a child, when I would sing this song, I didn't really understand the purport of it, because that purport is exactly this section's mood about fighting the war of life with full might. How do you cross this ocean? It's a dangerous ocean. It's a treacherous ocean. How do we cross over? Would you like to hear that little song? Okay. It's in the language of Devanagari Kannada. ಈಸಬೇಕು ಇದ್ದು ಜಯಿಸಬೇಕು ಹೇಸಿಗೆ ಸಂಸಾರದಲ್ಲಿ ಆಶಲೇಷ ಮಾಡದಂಗೆ ಈಸಬೇಕು ಇದ್ದು ಜಯಿಸಬೇಕು. Now that we are in this material ocean, we have to cross over it. And we have to swim across. We have to swim across with our full might. And Jaya sabeku. Jaya means victory. We have to become victorious. Hesige samsaradalli, which basically means this life, this material world, it's full of filth. So we have to somehow or another, without becoming in contact with the dirt, we should, what is that dirt? Asha, lesha. Asha, basically all these material desires. So we should actually stay far away from it and cross over. Tamarasa jaladante prema bittu bhavadolu Swami Rama nenuta padi kamita kaikombarella isabeku iddu jaisabeku. This is the analogy Srimad Bhagavatam also gives. Be like a lotus flower. You know, the leaf of the lotus flower, it is in the water. But does it ever touch water? Does it ever hold water? No. Immediately the water slips away. So similarly, we have to live, and we should chant the holy names and constantly sing, and we have to cross over this material ocean in this way. ಗೇರು ಹಣ್ಣಿನ ಬೀಜ ಸೇರಿದಂತೆ ಸಂಸಾರದಿ ಮೀರಿ ಆಸೆ ಮಾಡದಂಗೆ ಧೀರ ಕೃಷ್ಣನ ಭಕ್ತರೆಲ್ಲ ಈಸಬೇಕು ಇದ್ದು ಜಯಿಸಬೇಕು. You know the fruit of cashew nut? How many of you have at least seen a picture of the fruit of cashew nut? So the fruit is like this, and there is the cashew nut. It looks attached, but it's actually completely detached as well. So It's saying, just like that fruit of cashew nut, be in this world but not of this world. Don't desire more than necessary. And the courageous devotees of Krishna live in this way, crossing over this ocean. Mamsa dasage matsya siluki himse patta pariyante mosa hoga dange jagadisha purandara vitalana neneyuta isabeku iddu jaisabeku. Just as this fish, he's trapped with this little foot that goes with the thread. So just because of that desire for that foot, he loses his life. He gets caught and then he's finished. So it is saying, please let me be saved from such a pitiable condition. Let me not get cheated by all these illusory happiness, and let me constantly remember Krishna, and in this way let me cross safely this ocean of material existence. That is the meaning of this song. So thank you very much. We will end here, and I will take some comments or questions regarding this. Hare Krishna. Yes, Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you for a very enlivening class. Mataji, the examples you used for going to Mangalati and fasting, and that we may not feel like doing these activities, but I think there should be some self-analogy with why you may be struggling to get out of bed or why you're not fasting. It's not that it's you don't like to do it, because the body should be alive. And you should naturally wake up for Mangalati and want to go. And if that's not happening, I think you should take a look at yourself. Maybe you're eating too late, maybe you're eating the wrong things or whatever. And I felt like just in what you were saying, it was just like we just said, oh, you should, even if you don't feel like doing it, you should still do it. Yes, that's correct. But I think also you should look at your lifestyle maybe and see. And also fasting is the same thing. Fasting is a very cleansing body. It gets rid of toxins, and I just thought maybe you can make some comment on that.
Thank you. So if I understood you correctly, you're making a very valid point that it's not just the fact that when we don't feel to do something we should do. That's not that was not obviously the point. I was just mentioning it, austerities, right? We read a little bit about it. According to Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says there are 3 kinds of austerities. So one kind of austerity is austerity of the body, fasting, getting up. Another is austerity of the mind, austerity of speech. So there are 3 kinds of austerities. And the point is that for some people, austerity of the body is not a big deal. They can do it very easily. It's nothing. For them, austerity of body is not an austerity, therefore. Because austerity means something that is difficult to do. And for somebody else, austerity of speech, maybe not a problem. They never offend anybody, they never argue with anybody, they never get angry, they're really nice devotees, but they have a struggle to maybe get up in the morning or study Srimad Bhagavatam, or those may be their difficulties. And for somebody else, austerity of the mind may be the most, because actually everybody has that, but for some people they just cannot control their mind. It just cannot. So this is the nature, that we all are belonging in some category. So if we were perfect in all these 3, we wouldn't be here. You know what I mean? There's a struggle. In other words, the philosophy is not that a pure devotee does not have difficulties with controlling the senses or controlling the mind or controlling the speech, or it doesn't mean a pure devotee will automatically get up. It doesn't mean that. He may, because the urges are there, right? What's the verse? Vacho vegam manasa krodha vegam jiva vegam udar pasta vegam etan veganyo vishayeta dirat. So it says vegam, 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 vegam. It doesn't say bereft of urges. The one who can make disciples it's not that he's automatically controlled. The point is to control, okay? That's my first response to what I was saying earlier. And the second thing is, yes, there are obviously considerations to be seen, health, maybe fasting is very bad for you, and therefore it's very bad for your devotional service. You get super sick, like we just read that verse. An intelligent person will try to do his best to avoid death. That obviously means if fasting is bad for your health, we shouldn't be too stupid. We should actually take care and to see, again, the ultimate success is samsiddhir haritoshanam. Is it pleasing Krishna or not? Because sometimes people with bad health, even though fasting is not good for them, they do it. And if it's unfavorable for devotional service, just because it's about because I feel to do it. And so it is not valid that, fasting is for everyone. We have to see who is this person, what kind of health conditions they may have. But it shouldn't become an escapism for other things. Maybe they can compensate by reading more or chanting more. Like I heard that Srila Prabhupada once said, instead of just fasting and just sleeping and not doing anything, better, get some energy in your body and do some devotional service. So we have to see that. And also about getting up early. Yes, somebody might have a habit. They're unable to. And they can gradually start doing get up 10 minutes early every week. Can we do that? 10 minutes early. And that should please Krishna because we're making an endeavor. So the 2 points are, what may be austerity for you may not be an austerity for me. What may be an austerity for me may not be an austerity for you. For somebody to study Bhagavatam is a big austerity. Some people just naturally love to do it, but they may not like to cook or clean or do other basic things. So for that person may think, okay, I like to do this, but let me also manage and balance to do this thing. Because Krishna sees ultimately the motivation. Again, Bhagavatam goes beyond appearances. Vritrasura is a demon, but what is important is his consciousness. Indra is attached to the position, whereas Vritrasura is not attached to victory. He is just I just want devotional service. I don't want anything else. So ultimately it's the motivation. At the same time, that's why Guru is there. So you can consult. And then the Guru can say, is your mind tricking you? Just saying, don't do this. It's okay. Your health is a little bad. It's okay. That may be us. And then the Guru might say, that's fine. Then chant extra or do more service for the temple or something that keeps us on track. In other words, again, success means there is endeavor. They say, 99% perspiration and 1% inspiration. So there must be something from our side. Again, for you it may not be bodily endeavor. It may just be an endeavor from the mind. It may just be an endeavor from the speech. We have to see. I can't give a absolute answer in this case because it depends on individuals. Because austerity can be done in 3 modes. Whether we are doing it austerity in Sattvagun or Rajagun or Tamagun.
One more question, and you brought it up. I've heard this, I don't know where I've heard it, but can you clarify it, that women should not do austerity, but what you just said here sounds like we should all be doing this, but I have heard that women should not do austerity. Can you comment on this?
Women should not do austerity. I can't comment on it because I never heard that, because I thought women's life is full of austerities. If you see Srimad Bhagavatam, every woman character in one sense does more austerity than the man. Think of Kunti Devi. Madri did the austerity of jumping into the fire. Kunti did the austerity of staying back, taking care of the Pandavas. And just all these characters come to mind, and I don't see any characters in Srimad Bhagavatam that did not do austerity. Devahuti, even she was princess, right? Kshatriya family, and she got married to great Kardama Muni. Somebody may say, they enjoyed, but they enjoyed 100 years, but they did austerity for 10,000 years. So that's only a fraction of the thing. So, I didn't hear that, but anything else?
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Mataji. Mataji, as you told that principles are all the time same, but it applies on different persons.
I can't understand you. Can you speak slowly?
Principles are all the time same, but it applies on different person differently. Like that someone body may allow him to do austerity, some may not do it. So my concern was that sometime even after getting the knowledge that we should be doing it or not doing it, we get confused. And when we consult some senior devotees, we are not getting the right situation that what we should do or what should we not be doing. So in that case, what we should do, how we can adjust the things.
So when you ask devotees, you don't get an answer, and sometimes you're confused what to do, what not to do. In this case, what should be done? Is the question clear? Sometimes we are confused what should be done, what should not be done. Yes? Anybody would like to answer that question? What do we do when in confusion? What to do when in doubt? Mataji is saying pray. And ask Guru, ask Shastra. Do you have a Guru? Ask Guru, Mataji is saying, and consult Shastra. I mean, he's meaning Shastra, there is so many things, right? Sometimes it's confusing. So what to do? So Guru is one answer. Does it help? Ask Guru. This is my confusion, Guru Maharaj. I don't know if...
I'm with us.
Okay, when Guru is not present all the time, what to do? Shiksha Guru. Do you have a Shiksha Guru? Yes, you have a Shiksha Guru? Prabhu has a Shiksha Guru. Thank you. That answer helps. Satsang. Associate with good association. Have good association of devotees. Do you have good association around you? You're actually drowned in it. You're in the midst of it. Other devotees who can guide you. Thank you. Does it help? So, thank you very much. If there's any other question, otherwise we can end here. Yes, Mataji?
Hare Krishna, Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
Dandavat Pranam. As you were talking about this austerity of the body, mind and speech, as for concern with me, like I feel that the austerity of body and austerity of mind and speech is very difficult for me. Is there any suggestion to control that, practical suggestion?
So Mataji gave very good answers for Prabhu. So she's asking a question that specifically if there is difficulties in controlling the speech and vacho vegam, and if we are having problem to do austerities with the body, what to do? Is there any practical suggestions? There are very wonderful devotees here. I'm sure they can give you good advice. Can we have the mic to Prabhu here?
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
For speech, generally what I practice is halt. Halt, H-A-L-T. Whenever I'm hungry, angry, lonely, tired, I don't respond. So I do a check if I'm getting irritated. Any one of this is a symptom that I'll respond in a way which is not appropriate because of some external condition. So I use halt.
So Prabhu is sharing his personal tip that he uses halt. Basically, before you say anything, you wait. You heard? It's okay? I just summarized it. Thank you. Yes, Prabhuji. Can we have the mic in the back, please?
Well, just to take up on what Prabhuji said, one thing we follow all across, and it works. I've tried it myself, it works. Especially when you're angry or upset and somebody is provoking a reaction, count up to 10. Just count up to 10 in your mind. Just count up to 10. in most cases, the desire to reply will have wound down by then. You can try it, Mataji. It's very simple, but it works. Count up to 10. By the time you've done it, your other triggers would have come in. All your bhakti and everything else would come into play, and you would realize that there is no need to reply in most cases. Hare Krishna.
Any other scholars would like to quote from the Shastras and give a verse that answers that question? Or any purport of Srila Prabhupada that talks about how to control our speech? Prabhuji here.
Pick up the beat bag and chant.
Haribo! Pick up the beat bag and chant.
And chanting 16 plus rounds, most of the time it reduces everything.
That requires control of mind to do that. Yes, Prabhu? Yes?
Mataji has a valid point, but we see in our own life, we have so many challenges, but it all challenges water down to if we have a very good association and a good sadhana is the reply to all this. Good sadhana, good association, shastras, pathan, reading of shastras, I mean it will calm down all our propensities.
Thank you very much.
This is
So what I would like to add to all these wonderful suggestions is that understanding helps. They say in South Indian language, they say, Nalgeg mula illa. Means the tongue doesn't have bones. It just does whatever it likes. It says whatever it likes. So we shouldn't put the faith in it. Then adding to what Prabhuji said about association, what causes you to speak in a rough way? Maybe you're in a wrong association and those people just touch your wrong buttons and maybe you shouldn't be amongst them. Maybe like Prabhu said, we should be among the association of devotees who inspire positivity in you, who inspire you to speak of Krishna, who inspire you to speak in a positive way. In other words, you don't have to associate with everybody that comes across. We have in the beginning stages, like when we are deceased, when our body is deceased condition, you just don't eat anything that comes around. You're very careful. You're taking medication, you're on diet. So you avoid certain things. So similarly, when our mind is not yet austere, when our body cannot do austerity, we should be careful in association. And I agree with Prabhu's suggestion that association is the medicine. But when you're taking association, when you're taking medicine, also follow diet. Which means what association is favorable for your Krishna consciousness? What association is unfavorable? So if you're feeling to speak negative things, maybe you should change your association. I mean, this is my humble suggestion. Thank you very much. It's 9 o'clock and we can end here, and if you like we can talk later. Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki, Vritrasura ki, Srila Prabhupada ki.